Good evening. We are working on dividing fractions and whole numbers. This is a repeat of things you did before spring break, but I wanted to make sure everybody remembers everything, so we're going to do another lesson or two on this. To recall, we're dividing fractions, and when you're dividing fractions, there's lots of different ways you can do it. There's one simple way that I taught you before spring break, but I want to go over the other ways just in case that's an easier way for you to learn. Everybody learns a little differently. So in this method, you can see they have drawn a number strip. And in this number strip, the original equation is right here. We have 2 divided by 1/3. Okay, in the number strip, you see they have 2 large holes, and they divide each of the holes into 1/3 because of this fraction. So then you see that they have each square representing 1/3 of that hole. And the way you do this visually is you count how many of those little 1/3s there are to figure out what 2 divided by 1/3 equals. Well, if you count those up, you see that they equal 6. Okay, now the way we learned it before break was when you are dividing or multiplying fractions, if it's a whole number, you put it over 1. So then I would write this fraction as 2/1. Then your next step is to change the divide sign to multiply and to write the reciprocal or flip the second fraction. Then you just multiply straight across. So 2 times 3 would be 6. 1 times 1 would be 1, which just simplifies to 6. You can see here we got the same answer either way, so you can do whichever method works for you. I will tell you that this drawing method will take you longer, but if that works for you, go for it. Let's do another example. By the way, I forgot to tell you, we are in your workbooks that I gave you all. This is page 169 in your workbook. You do need to have your math journal out and be writing these examples in it from this lecture. If I happen to go across any vocab words, you do need to write those down. I've not done that for this lesson so far. I may do it in the next lecture. So if you didn't do that already, pause me and get that stuff set up, or rewind this video and do the example again so it's in your journal. But you will notice I will also be going through part of the worksheet that you are assigned, and so you can write down the work and the answers on there as well. So this is number 2 on page 169. So another method of solving division of fractions is to use a number line. Okay, and you can see here that our equation is 2 divided by 1/4. So on the number line, they have 2 whole numbers, and since we are dividing by 1/4, they have broken this whole number into 4 equal, you can see it's 4 equal spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then again here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So since the equation is 2, so 2 wholes divided by 1/4, you would count how many 1/4ths there are right here. If you counted that, you would get 8. Okay, because 8 times 1/4 equals 2. Now let me show you the way we do it without drawing. So again, I would have 2 divided by 1/4, which I turn into 2/1. I change the division sign into a multiplication sign, and then I take the reciprocal or flip the second fraction. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. 8/1 simplifies to 8. Either way, you're going to get the same answer, as you can see. You may do whichever method works for you. And again, if I go too fast on any of this stuff, just pause the video till you finish writing and then play. Let's do one more example. right, so this is number 3 in your journal, in your workbook, also on page 169. You can see that they again put out a number strip, but the difference is on this one, we're taking 1/4 and dividing it by 2 whole numbers. Okay, so this is a little bit trickier. So you can see that they have drawn a large whole number for reference strip. This one you don't actually need to use to do the math. It's just there for reference. And then you see your little portion that's 1/4. Well, you want to divide it into 2 blocks. So you see they've divided it into 2 blocks here, which represent 1/8. So then your answer here is going to be 1/8. Same thing, if I do 1/8 times 2, I still get 1/4. Now let me show you what it looks like if we were to just do it mathematically. I have 1/4. We have a division. We're going to switch the sign to multiplication. 2, remember 2 was 2 over 1. So now we're going to flip it and say 1 over 2. So 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 2 is 8. So I still get 1/8 for my answer, which you can see worked up here as well. So again, use the method that works best. I can tell you that this method that we have learned before break is going to be the fastest method, but if it still is confusing when you have to change the sign and do the reciprocal, then you can practice using the other methods, just in case. I'm going to go ahead and do one of your word problems to help with the word problems and help so you learn how to set up the word problems. All right, so this word problem, Amy can run 1/10 of a mile per minute. How many minutes will it take Amy to run 3 miles? So if Amy can do 1/10 of a mile per minute, and we want to run 3 miles, we're going to say 3 divided by 1/10. So what's 3 divided by 1/10? Well, I would say that is 3 over 1 times 10 over 1. Because you're changing the sign and you're flipping the second fraction. So then I get 3 times 10, which is 30, over 1, which is just 30. So then this is, she can do 1/10 of a mile per minute. So then this is per minute. So then I can say that it's going to take Amy 30 minutes to run 3 miles. Okay? You need to finish this page 169. So you will have done numbers 1 through 11. Then you need to do page 170, it's the back side, numbers 1 through 6. Those are word problems, but they're multiple choice. So you should be able to do the work, and I want to see your work. So just do it on that page next to, there's little spaces some places. And then you can choose the best answer you think. And if you guys have any questions or problems or concerns, just message me, email me, comment on the video. I get all the notifications and I can help you. All right, have fun doing your math.